everybody. Welcome to the Boy Mom Podcast. I'm Suzanne Carowin. I'm so excited today to have Stephanie Karr on the program and get to know her and some of the unbelievable work that she's doing. So, Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So, why don't we just start off nice and easy? Just tell us about you and your family. What's that look like for you?
I'm married to my husband, Ted. We've been married for about 31 years, and we have four kiddos and one new grandchild, a new little granddaughter. So Madison is our oldest, and she's one of the authors of the books that we're going to be talking about. And then we have Callie, and then I have identical twin boys who are 17 and seniors in high school this year. So we're doing all the fun college applications and looking at different options for them. So it's pretty exciting times here.
And that times two, always.
Exactly.
Always fun. Well, that's amazing right there. So maybe even before we get to the talking about the boy mom and the mom part and what you do, why don't you tell me again, how many years you've been married? 31?
31.
31. Congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
what's your secret there? Give us some secret of success.
God, definitely keeping Christ as the center. We pray together. Um, yeah, it's been. I mean, it's not perfect, but Christ is the center of our relationship, and I think because of that, we've been pretty successful in our marriage.
So was that always the case when you met each other, or did you find Christ together during the whole relationship?
We were both really strong Christians when we met, and so our relationship actually began on the foundation of prayer. We were just friends,
Oh,
and we would go for walks along the river, and we would stop and pray. He was serving in the youth at the time, and so I'd go to church with him and hang out with the junior high kids and
mm-hmm.
serve with him because I was just up in Washington. He was in Washington State, and I was still living in Tennessee. And I was doing an internship up there that summer for a job, and that's when we met and started hanging out. And we were just friends at first before we started dating, and then yeah, we started dating at the very end of
Oh,
the
I
summer
love
before
that.
I had to go back to Tennessee.
Oh, I love that. Oh, and then you did long distance, and then eventually everybody got together and you got married. Oh,
Exactly.
oh, so
Yeah.
that's wonderful. You've probably already checked the. I'm high on talking about that. I'm coming off of. I just went to a Christian conference yesterday, and so
Mhm.
much of it is focused now on. Hey, you know what? Here's a good idea. We should get married, and then we should have children, right? And then we should go forward. But there's so much about. I think there's a revival about the idea of maybe marriage is a good thing, and we should have Christ-centered marriages. So you're just like I didn't even try that. You just came on with there. All right. So then you started having building out your family, and so you've got two beautiful daughters. You got two and two, right? So
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
split half there. You
Very.
got 50-50. And so for I love when we've got the mom who's got both genders in the household, right? So were the daughters easy? Were they like easy girls to raise?
In general, they were easy girls, but in comparison to the boys are so much easier on every single level.
In what respect are you saying? Because and then that's a big statement because you have identical twins on top of it. So I mean, it's not like you've got like one
Times
at a
2.
time. You got the double whammy, right?
Well, and the boys are just really easy kids as well, and they always have been. Just drama, friend drama, there's been none with the boys, and with the
Oh, the
girls,
friend drama. Hmm.
there was plenty. Um, Clothes, outfits, so my boys are having their senior photos taken on Sunday, and we haven't even thought about outfits yet. Whereas when my daughters had their senior photos, we had outfit changes, hairstyles, everything planned out weeks in advance. So
Yeah. Yep.
just
Yep. That's true.
differences like
Much less,
that.
much less
Going to
stress.
dances, the outfits for the dances for the girls and with the boys. It's like, oh yeah, prom's like in 2 days. I don't have a suit, so
It's so true. They do give you that like last minute heart attack though, right?
they
Where it's like
they
you have to be able
do.
to come out with like a full suit or something very specific in no time. And you're like, I don't know, maybe the other 700 kids are also bought all the stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. And certainly let's talk dorm rooms because that's going to be a much easier
Well, so they'll most likely be roommates, so we're not gonna have the roommate coordination as
Oh
well
my
that
gosh, you are eliminating stuff,
they have.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But have they actually ever lived in the same room?
Yeah, they actually shared a room up until they were 12 years old,
Yeah.
and then they started having their own rooms, but they actually would end up sleeping in the same room with each other
Yeah.
often.
That
Um,
makes sense. Okay. So they're actually going to make their decision to go to college together. They're going to say, like, look, we're going to go to the same place together. We're going to live together.
I assume so, that's the plan. I mean,
Okay.
you just never know if one ends up getting into a college and the other one doesn't for some reason, then I don't know what's gonna happen. So we'll just
Hmm.
have to wait and see, but right now, the plan is that they're going to go to the same college and that they will be roommates.
So when you were pregnant with the two of them, did you know? Did you have any inkling, like just from a spiritual awakening kind of piece, that you were going to have twins? Or how did that
100%.
really?
Yes, yes. So, that's kind of an interesting story because my husband is an identical twin, but his twin died, the day after they were born. He had a
Oh.
little, um, connection between his esophagus and his trachea. It's called an esophageal atresia, and they didn't know that. I mean, this was 57 years ago, and so when
Hmm.
the baby was born, when he was taking in, fluid, it was not going in the stomach, it was actually going into his lungs. And so when they realized it, they fixed it, but he already had pneumonia, and so he ended up passing away. And so I just always had this feeling that we were going to have twins.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we had our first daughter, and I'll never forget, we were having our ultrasound when we first saw the heartbeat, and my husband was trying to convince the doctor that there were two heartbeats because he thought he saw two heartbeats. And she's like, no, there's just one. And then we had Callie shortly after. We weren't thinking a whole lot about twins at that point. And then, well, I actually lost a baby in between Madison and Callie. So Callie was our third pregnancy. And then we had two more miscarriages. And so the twins here are our sixth pregnancy. And I just
Yeah.
knew that they were twins. Like, I knew in my
Wow.
heart that they were twins. And so we went in for the ultrasound, and my husband was late. And, she's doing the ultrasound, and because we had lost the babies, I was just really nervous, like, "Oh my gosh, is there
Yeah,
a
sure.
heartbeat?" And so she's like, "Oh, there's somebody in there." And I was like, "Oh, you see the heartbeat?" And she's like, "Yep, it's there." And I was like, "Well, do you see just one heartbeat?" And she's like, "Well, I only see one. Do you have, like, a reason to think that there's more?" And I was like, "I just had a feeling I was having twins." And so she started looking around, like, kinda moving the ultrasound probe around, and she's like, "You know what? I think there are 2 heartbeats in there." And
Oh my goodness.
so about then, my husband walks in.
Yeah.
I was like, "I think we're having twins."
Oh,
It was
wow.
pretty exciting.
Yeah. And so did you find out right then they were gonna be boys as
Not
well?
right then, because we were only 6 or 7 weeks along.
Okay, this was just at the very
It
the
was very
thundering.
early, and then I was convinced they were girls. We had girls' names picked out and everything, and then for
Oh.
until our ultrasound, when we did find out the gender, we called them Kate and Allie because that's what we named them.
Oh, that's a great inside joke of the family, right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Then you were like, "Oh, gotta scrap that plan and come up with something else."
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and so then when we found out they were boys, I was like, "Oh my gosh, how am I gonna be a boy mom? I don't know how to do that."
Right.
And
Something new, but you like to learn, so you're like, "Yeah,
well,
I'm up
sure, I
for it."
do, I
Yeah.
like to learn, so it was really exciting, and then, of course, it was just so special for Ted's mom, to get her twin.
Oh. Mm. Oh, I didn't even think about it from that angle. Oh my gosh. Oh, now I'm gonna cry. But yeah, okay, so that makes sense, right? So it's like a, oh, how special is that? Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. So then did you find with the boys then, was it a, tell me, since you've got the daughter side, the boy side, I know they're easier, but any kind of things that you see like with your sons and your relationship there?
Well, there's a lot, less, dramatic, I guess, is the way to say it.
Mhm.
With the girls, we get along. We don't bump heads like I did with the girls. They're just in agreement all the time. Like, if I tell them to do something, they do it, and they don't argue with me, whereas
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's why I like being a boy mom. I had right? Because you do, it's a different gender, so it takes a lot of stress off you because, you know, they're not
and
girls.
And they're very protective over me, which I love. If I'm not feeling good, they're actually really concerned if I'm
Mhm.
sick because in their mind, like, mom doesn't get sick. And
Mhm.
so I never noticed that with the girls that if I was sick or I wasn't feeling good, there was just no extra care or concern. And I do feel like the boys definitely show more care and concern for me as a person. They ask how my day is. Um,
Aw, how
yeah,
nice is that?
yeah,
So even through all the 12s and 13s and 14s, do they have, like, the awkward age or not really?
I don't feel like they did.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, so they just was smooth, just even keel all the way through. Do you think it's because you also are different in how you're doing that? Like, are you more laid back now?
Well, for sure, with your 3rd and 4th kids, my girls always complain that we give the boys so much more freedom than we ever gave them, but honestly, they've earned that trust a little bit
Mm,
more.
yeah,
So, yes, they are our 3rd and 4th kids, we're a lot more relaxed with them. They're boys, so you don't worry about boys as much as you worry about girls,
yeah,
and, it's been a little bit easier to be a little looser, like, we don't hold on as tight. Plus, we have that sensation of, like, these are the boys, they're gonna be the men of their household, they really have to be able to figure stuff out on their own. They're going to be taking care of, a wife and children one day, and they're gonna be responsible for them. And so, we've been a little bit harder on them, I guess, with work ethic.
mhm.
Um, just you're gonna have to work and, pay for stuff yourself, whereas I feel like with the girls, we tend to pay for more stuff for them than we ever did with the boys.
Oh, so that's interesting. So you actually kind of from what I'm hearing you saying is that you've actually imbued within them this idea that, ultimately you're going to be head of household financial responsibility. And so you need to learn this discipline now. And you've
Yes,
been very upfront in telling them that.
yes. We
Oh,
have
wow.
all along, and we didn't do that with the girls, and I mean, Madison, she had great work ethic and she worked, but now she has a child and she's a stay-at-home mom, and now Keegan,
Mm-hmm.
her husband, is the one taking care of her and their child, and I anticipate it'll be the same with our, 2nd daughter once she gets married, but, the boys, we just have been trying to really instill that you're gonna be head of household spiritually, financially, emotionally, really, and you have
Yeah.
to be able to provide. And sometimes you may not feel like going to work, but you're gonna have to go anyway. And yeah,
Oh, so I love that's actually that's a great idea. I mean, it seems super simple, but I don't know how many people sit down and like say that to their sons, right? Like, hey, listen, let's call it what it is. This is what this is kind of what you're saying. You define being a man as being this responsible, accountable, yeah, person who's doing this. Yeah, interesting. That's great. So I'm gonna take that down as a tip and tell 'em I'm gonna call my sons afterwards, be like, "Hey, FYI," right? I just tell them to make sure you don't leave me on the street, but yeah.
right, exactly. Well, they every now and then we tease them that they're a retirement plan, also.
Sure, yeah, for
And then
sure.
that they actually let us know that that stresses them out, so we've kinda backed off with that a little bit.
Yep, yep.
They were like, "You gotta work, you're our retirement plan," and I think they thought that we were serious, that we were counting on them for our
Oh,
retirement.
well, it would be a bonus. You're right.
Exactly.
Hopefully
Exactly.
you have your own plans too, but yeah. So, I mean,
Oh,
what
oh,
about
for sure, yeah.
what about from the sense of so how have you then as a mom like talk to me about you as a mom with your sons and the spirituality part, right? And how have you seen that as how have you seen that how have you helped them? Because I know a lot of mothers with their sons struggle with the church part. They struggle with the Christian part and they feel like the sons are like, whatever, etc. And it's different. Boys and men pray differently. They're
Right,
different. They're not girls, right?
right. I guess I would have to my husband has been amazing with the boys. Well, he was with all the girls, like, praying with the kids was kind of his nighttime joy. Like, going in, having the kids memorize scripture was something that was really important to him, and so when we would drive in the cars, we would, especially, like, on the way to school or when I would pick them up, we would pray,
Mhm.
on the way to school for their day, and then we would often recite whatever scripture Ted had them memorizing, and, um, and I have to say that the memorizing of scripture is so important for your kids just because they are hiding God's words in their heart. And when Callie, she was 22 at the time, she broke her femur, and we were in the hospital in the trauma center that night, and it was a really scary night for both of us. And she was just like, "Can you just recite Psalm 23 with me?" And we just recited it over and over and over again, and it was just something we haven't done in many many years, but she still had that on her heart from her childhood, and we were pulling on those words to just comfort us that night. So I guess I lost track of what the question was, but we really worked on memorizing scripture. We prayed together a lot. My husband had them serving at church from the time very from
Mhm.
early. Church was always part of our routine every Sunday morning. That was what we did. We went to church. If we were on vacation, we found a church and we went to church, and it was always
Mhm.
super fun. And
Mhm.
as soon as they were old enough to go to youth group, Wednesday nights, they were going to youth group. Um, we never prioritized sports, but my boys aren't really super athletic, but nothing was prioritized over church for us. And
Mm.
prayer times, meal times together. Um, yeah.
And so in doing all that, do you see that they've kind of gotten a heart for servant leadership? Like they
Oh,
understand that and they're doing like they just do it, you think, naturally now?
on their own now. They're at church. They serve at one service and then go to the next service. They've been serving with kids. They're during the summer they're camp leaders, so they'll go to camps or to yeah to our church camp as leaders for the younger kids. They're both on the worship team for the youth worship, so they both play the guitar. And yeah, they'll go early and just show up, and if they don't have a specific job assigned, they'll go find something to do to help set up chairs or whatever they can do to help.
Wow, well, good job on that one, right?
That's
They're
all
already
my
like,
well, it's really I guess, that's all to the glory of God and who He
yeah.
created Joshua and Caleb to be, but I think it was my husband who really instilled that because I'm still at home sleeping until I show up for the 11 o'clock service.
That's okay. You probably put in your due time, right? Still making up for 9 months having twins. I think that on some level, that one, I think you get a pass for life on that. that's that's a lot to do. Well, I mean that's fantastic. I mean, what a great. Oh, I mean, so many good tips in there, and I love the memorizing scripture and praying while you're in the car. Those little car trips are so important, right? Like to not. Oh my gosh, we've worked out so many family dramas in the car and bowling. But yes, it's critically important. Well, so I mean, as they go on to college, do you have concerns there, or do you think they're just going to take their faith right with them and
Oh, of
continue
course
to?
I have concerns, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, I think they're super solid in their faith and their beliefs but you just never know when you let go of your kids
Mhm.
what influences are going to be surrounding them, what they're going to be, who they're going to be hanging out with, and what honestly college professors are going to be feeding them with. Um, yeah, oh, for sure. I definitely have concerns, but all I can do is pray that they
Right.
will stay on the path that we have given them the foundation for.
Are you looking at colleges just out of curiosity from a standpoint of, a Christian viewpoint, or is that not really part of the selection process?
It's really not at this point. It was for
Yeah.
my girls. Both of my girls went
Oh.
to Baylor University, large Christian university, and with the boys, I feel like not that the girls weren't solid in their faith, but I feel like the boys just because they want to study computer science and um, that hasn't been as big of a deciding factor for us for
Mhm.
what colleges they're interested in.
And
So,
also, I mean, all I keep thinking the whole time you're talking about this, and it's one of the reasons that I love the mother-son relationship is inspired by Jesus and Mary, right? But I
right,
love that at the wedding of Canaan, right? So basically, Mary, the mother, says to everybody else, "Hey, look, here he is. Whatever he says, do it," right? And
right,
she
right.
gets out of his way and lets him have that space to go forward and be who he is. And that's as you're talking, that's all I'm hearing in my own head is that you're saying like, listen, You know that they're the men, they're gonna go to college, they're gonna bring that faith with them regardless wherever they come, and you're gonna go give them that space to do what needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah, that's not usual. That's unusual in today's world, I feel like. It's, to be able to grant that, grace and the respect, and it's a different respect I think you're talking about. It's just different. Like, I sometimes the girl moms get very mad at me, like, "We should talk about girls." I'm like, "Well, we're talking about boys because boys don't boys don't always get that opportunity. We don't always have the opportunity to talk about it and how I think it's critically important, of what's happening with them because they have been under attack. They have, and it's tough. It's not easy. You've just raised them. It's not easy to shepherd boys through our
Mm,
society nowadays.
no, no. I'm just
Yeah.
really grateful for the church leadership and for the friends they have, just a really great group of friends also, and I think that has also played a huge role in where they're at with their faith and then their desire to even go to church because they all of their closest friends are at church and they all just show up and serve together, and I love that.
Oh, how ideal is that? That's so wonderful. Because what a positive, just amplifying fact. Okay, well, then on top of it, so then you've done a little bit extra, more than just carrying all of these children, right? So you've had both a career in one whole industry, and then tell me about now you're an author, you're a published author. So let's talk books. Let's talk about the work
Right,
you're doing here.
right, so, all of my education and, passions when I was younger was all in healthcare. So I got my undergrad and a grad degree in pharmacology and toxicology, and then I went on to pharmacy school after that. And then after I had the boys, I decided I was just well, I was a stay-at-home mom with the girls for the most part as well. But I decided that I was going to 100% be a stay-at-home mom. And when the boys started preschool, I really was kind of going nuts, crazy, and so I started teaching at the community college, just one class per term while they were at preschool. And it was during this time that I started. It was actually one Christmas when they were really little, and they were talking to the elf on the shelf, like I'd gotten caught up in that whole Elf on the Shelf thing. It
Mhm.
was really after the girls were born, so they were a little bit too old for it, but when it came out, the boys were little, and I was super excited to get it, and then Christmas became all about Santa, and that kind
Mhm.
of made me sad, and so for years, I talked about, like, "Oh, I wish there was just something that would just point to Jesus a little bit more than Elf on the Shelf because there's nothing wrong with Santa and all the fun Christmas, there's nothing wrong with all of that, but I just
Mhm.
wish that there was something to draw the focus back to the true meaning of Christmas, which is, of course, the birth of Jesus. And so I was like, it's a little lamb. That's what it is. It's a lamb, and every year I'd start adding to it and talking about it. And my kids were always like, well, "Why don't you just do it?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know how. I don't know how to write a book. I just don't know what to do." I came up with a name for the lamb. His name was Iam. It was like IAM. It looks like I am, but you put it together and it's Iam. It's a Hebrew name that means right hand. And I actually didn't know any of that. This name came to me. And so Madison was at Baylor University, and she'd been home during Christmas, and she just sat down and wrote the story out, and emailed it to me. She's like, "Here's your story, mom. Now do something with it." And I was like, "Oh,
Aw.
that's so sweet. It's so good. Like I have to do something with that." So I have to
Ah.
find an illustrator. And so I was like, how do I find an illustrator? And I had heard about Fiverr and Upwork. And so I went on Upwork and I just posted a job for a children's illustrator. And I got probably 75 or 80 hits, people applying. And so I was kind of going through it really fast. And one person stood out to me, Jamie Ruthenberg, who is our illustrator, and we ended up connecting, and then I gave her the story and she did all the artwork for the book. And then I was like, oh, it's so sweet. Now I really, really have to do something, but I don't know how to publish a book.
Right,
So
okay.
I started looking into self-publishing, and there's a bunch of businesses out there that will help you publish a book. And it's really expensive to do it
Yeah.
that way because you're paying them all these fees. And then, I decided I was just going to find a printer and do it myself. And so I found a printer and had the books printed and, ordered 5,000 of them. I
Wow,
wasn't going to do
right
print
off
on
the
demand because I had learned that, with artwork, you don't wanna do print on demand because you're getting digital printing, and it just doesn't give the artwork the quality that it deserves, as when you do the press printing. So, I got the books, and then I'm like, "I don't know how to sell these." And then I had the plush lamb made. So should I go ahead and show it? So this
Yeah, absolutely.
is
Sure.
it. This is Iam the Lamb and the True Meaning of Christmas. And, go through and you can see the artwork is just really
Yeah, beautiful.
beautiful artwork, and it's talking about when you think of Christmas, what pops in your head? Is it presents and cookies and canes white and red? Or wreaths and stockings, or perhaps a little elf who quietly watches you as he sits on the shelf? Do you think of St. Nicholas lights in a tree, or could there be more to Christmas for you and for me? So, that's kind of the starting of it, and then, we get introduced to Iam the Lamb right here,
Oh, so
and,
cute.
then he tells the story about Christmas and the true meaning of Christmas, and then we have here, Mary, and then, Mary and Joseph, and then he's encouraging, others to also tell the story about, Jesus and why we celebrate Christmas. So that's that. And then I had, the custom plush lamb made. Mary Meyer Corporation made these for us, and so, it was just it was years of trial and failure. I think we had 5 or 6, iterations of our plush lamb with other companies before I found Mary Meyer, and I didn't even realize that they did custom work. So got him and we're super happy with him. And we just started going to little shows, little Christmas bazaars, and it did really well. We got a lot of really positive feedback. My mom was my biggest cheerleader, I think, and she just took the book into every store she could find, and she's like, "You need to carry this." And so then that's how we ended up getting into different retail outlets. And then we just kept working on growing it. We started going to bigger shows and started working with marketing companies, a little bit of marketing here and there, social media, and
Hmm.
then this past year we ended up adding the Easter book, Iam the Lamb, the True Meaning of Easter. And Madison and I
Yeah.
got together, and her name has changed because she has since gotten married. And with that, and then we have the Advent book, which I wrote this year. So this is a really fun. It walks you through 28 days of Advent, and it goes through all the various symbols of Christmas, what we use to decorate and celebrate Christmas, and how they can all of those can point to Jesus. This is the week of joy. Um, so like parties and feasting and caroling. So yeah, we have 28
We need more carols. Yeah.
symbols. Um, So that's what we have. And so we're growing our brand, we're reaching out and doing more marketing. We've signed on with a marketing
Hmm.
firm now,
Hmm.
and we're really excited about what's to come.
And what's so, again, divine providence and divine connections. Literally the week before we met, I had been talking to this other woman and telling her I've never found a great advent calendar. I've been looking for years because she's running this high-end gift store. And she's like, yeah, those are really hard to find. And like, lo and behold, we get together and you're like, oh yeah, I've created this full advent.
Well, I do have the
It's
advent calendar,
unbelievable.
and I will show
Unbelievable.
it.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Has all 20 of the symbols of Christmas, because it does take forever to get something made. I've been working on this for over a year. Um, we were not able to get them here in time for Christmas or Advent this year, so it
But
will be
what
available
but
next year.
it'll be here.
The
It'll
book
be
is
here for
here.
Christmas of
Yeah,
2026. It'll be here. And
exactly.
but all of these are keepsake items, and they're just so special because I think that so much to your point, it has become so materialistic, right? And it's become so all these kinds of, and these are very special opportunities. And I do think, I'm hoping, at least I'm praying that being Christian is getting into style, right? It's getting more mainstream, and maybe we're having a revitalization phase. And so I think it's wonderful that these books and these things are coming out for people to keep and share, because that's Christmas is about tradition, right? And
Right, exactly.
you just need so I guess I should ask, of all of your children, there's always one who's like the historian child, the traditionalist child. There's always one who's like, "Mom, can we do like," right? There's always that kid. So who of your whole group, who's the one that's like the traditionalist, like we want to do it the same thing every year, get the same foods, the whole bit?
I think it would probably be Madison.
Mhm.
Maddie, I
That
would
is
say
your oldest.
probably
She's
her. Yes, my oldest. Although I would say Caleb, so one of the twins, is very
mhm.
a little more um, emotional like that. That he's going to want it. Like, well, we've always done it this way, so we need to always do it the same way.
Yep. Yep.
And I would say that maybe Josh and Callie a little bit less so. I know Callie in particular loves change, and she would probably like to do something different every year.
Yeah,
And
it's so
Josh,
interesting. I only have 2 and I've got one of each. One is like could care less of the sentimental stuff. The other one is like very important to him, right? That we same thing every year. Has to
yes,
be those things. Very important. And we have so when I was telling you 2 things. So, I had a little lamb, myself that I loved, loved, loved as a little girl, and then I got super sick and we had to get rid of the lamb, right? And my mom gave me the lamb again when I was 16, and I held on. I mean, I showed it on the last call we were on, but it was so important to me because when I think about it that, you know, I was 16 years old, and that's such a it can be kind of a rough age. My mom and I were kind of butting heads at the time, and, like, I didn't know that a couple of years later she was gonna die, right? And so that lamb has been able to stay with me. And then also, I got a book from my grandmother right about probably like maybe like 6, 7 years old, probably. That's the Book of Christmas, right? And it's this big hardback, beautiful book that talks about Christmas all over the world. And I have kept that thing every year. And every year we break out the Book of Christmas and we read it. And it's just like your Advent books and your Christmas books and Easter books. And there's this, it's not easy to find really high quality kind of pieces that are going to be really stay with the family. And yours, it doesn't matter how old you are, right? So anybody can enjoy that. So I just love the work you're doing with that. And I love that you're so filled with that, and that your children pushed you to do it. I think
they
that's
did.
one of
They actually really did, and it's really fun now because especially my boys are they're so proud when the books come or a new product comes. They're just so proud and they want to show their friends and
isn't
they're
that
I
heartwarming?
just
Oh, that's great.
I love it. They're just like, "Mom, I'm so proud of you. This is so awesome. I can't believe you did this." And it's really it's so great to hear them give me that
Yeah.
validation
And they
and
really
all the
mean
work.
it. I mean, like
They
the
do,
boys are so proud of their moms, and they're like, "You did something, right?" And I think it's just different, and and I love that they're telling all their friends, right? They're like, "Oh,
yeah.
look what my mom's doing." Yeah, like, right? That's great. Oh, that's great. And so because I don't know if you would have done it for yourself, but because those kids got after you to do that, you set this whole other path and trajectory, right? Of what you're now doing. Now you
Yes.
have to. Now your
No,
sons are
now
gonna
I
go
have
to
to.
you're
Exactly.
go they're going to college, they gotta say what their mom's doing, right? And she could be, like, teaching pharmacology, toxicology classes, which is, like, somewhat cool, but also, right? Being an author and going out and doing that, that's a cooler factor. So now you have no choice, you have to go big.
I know. I know. I'm hoping hoping marketing will
And
help.
yeah, right? So you've got whole new things to do. Well, that is, I mean, that's just really wonderful. So, I mean, your whole family now, even though you've got how with you've got a daughter who's married, she's got a new family, you've got your older daughter who's not living with you, and you've got your 2 sons there, your husband. How do you all kind of keep the Christianity between all of you kind of going? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's just talking about God a lot. In our family group text,
So one, you have
sometimes
a family
say,
group text.
of
Okay,
course,
good. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll say, "Pray for me," or "Pray for this," or whatever, and then we celebrate, but always giving God the glory. Like today, like little things, like Callie, had to pay for a surgery, and she just got a huge refund back, and I was like, um, that's really exciting because now she's like, "Is it okay to have a?" Because I have a credit on my credit card now. Is that
Right,
okay?
yeah.
She was still trying to
Right, is
figure
that a
out,
thing?
like, credit
Yeah.
cards and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, it's just a gift card from God now, like, what a
Oh,
thing."
I love that. It's a gift card
Like, it's
from God.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so that's perfect. So everybody's still connected and interconnected and doing all of that.
Yes, and when we're here, we pray together, we go to church together, just stuff like that.
And that is you know what, that's a maybe under maybe we should talk about what a blessing that is when you've got your adult children come home and you go to church again together. That's
Yeah.
just it's really wonderful. So you do that with then the new family too, with the baby and everything, and
Yeah,
you get to
whenever they're in town, we all go together. We were up at her house last weekend, and we went to her church together.
yeah,
Again, it's
that's
just
what
that routine, like, on Sundays, we go to church. That's what we do,
yeah, how wonderful.
where we're at.
So I mean, I love that because I don't come from that per se, and I come from a church going family, but my dad never went to church with us, right? It was always my sister, my mom, and I. And then my husband grew up with nothing, right? So he just didn't have anything. One of my greatest accomplishments in my and again, it's not really my victory, but I'll give this one up to the Holy Spirit that he got baptized with my younger son. And so my husband, right, like finally I had full house of Christians.
Yay.
We were fully right. And then that we've actually been able to make that a routine over those years and see him grow in that. But my greatest, oh my gosh, I love you've given me so much hope because I hope that my children end up marrying somebody and it's like, and that just continues and you can go and do that again as more and more people. I think that's a wonderful thing. It's one of the things I like about the Midwest and the South, right? You see all these
Yeah,
in multi-generational families at church. I think it's the coolest thing, right? I
for
love
sure.
that. And you can see it, you can know that you can see it's the mom with the daughter, right? And you can see everybody there with the kids. I love it. I think it's the coolest thing. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Stephanie. So, I mean, how else are we going to find you? We're going to find you online, right?
Yes, on my website,
Hmm.
iamthelamb.org, and then, Amazon soon, hopefully.
Hmm.
The Christmas book is on Amazon now, and, we're in retail stores. I counted them up. We're in 44 different retail stores throughout the United States,
Oh,
and
that's fantastic. I thought you
hoping
told
to
me
grow
20.
that. Huh?
I thought you told me like 20. Yeah.
I've
So it's,
counted it. So maybe we're not in 44 now. I shouldn't say that. We have been over the past 4 years
okay.
in 44 different retail establishments. And so, because it's a Christmas product, I have to reach out again every year.
Hmm.
Are you interested in carrying it? So we're in the process of doing that. One store unfortunately is closing down, so they won't be carrying it. And then yeah, sometimes it's hard to get in touch with people, so we've emailed and left some messages. But yeah, we're hoping to continue to grow our presence in brick and mortar stores. And we're at Christmas in Cowtown and Fort Worth, and then we're at a Christmas affair in Austin in November.
Yeah. We didn't even say that. You're down in Texas now. We should
Yeah,
make that.
I live in
Yeah.
Austin. Yes, yes.
Mhm. Yep, so you're in the heartland there of Texas. So with that, I mean, I wanna thank you, and I know that we have a very supportive audience who listens to the show and who loves who's gonna love it as much as I do, all the pieces and products that you're putting out there. So we'll send you our prayers for continuous success with Iam the Lamb, and we wanna see Iam have more adventures. We might need like an Iam goes to college. That might be a very popular very popular one to go. That's a good point. Are your boys gonna take the plush toy to college with them? Is Ian the Lamb gonna go? I feel like that's a must,
Well,
right?
most likely not. They actually don't have a plush lamb. Callie does. Callie has multiple of them. And
Mhm. Oh,
Callie
the
just always
versions.
loved sheep. She's always loved lambs. We actually had 2 sheep. They were her pets growing up,
Oh,
and,
okay.
she just always loved sheep. So she has multiple EMs. And she, yes, took it to college. She has it on her dresser, even though it's dressed as Christmas. She has it on her dresser year round
Sure.
at apartment. Um,
Yep.
she and Madison has, of course, the Easter plush and then the Christmas plush for her little girl, and in the nursery at her house. So, but no, my boys have never shown any interest in having the
Well,
plush.
I don't know that they get a choice on this one. You have to just shove it in, and then they get to college, and then when you're like, "Oh, look at this," right? So,
If I could
EM
somehow
came
make
along.
it a digital toy, then they would probably get into it.
I love that. Believe me, we'll find a way that that can happen because there's so many opportunities for EM out there. There's many an EM adventure, but I can see that being popular. There's so many moms that are so worried when they send their sons to college. They hide stuff in all their stuff. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
They do. There's a whole thing where I don't know if you've seen it where the moms they'll actually hide little cards saying like call your mom and they paste it all over their have you seen that in their dorm room?
No, but
They'll hide them. They'll put it like I've seen it. I have a friend. She put it like her son had the bottom bunk, so before she left, she pasted it above. You know what I mean? Just hilarious stuff. Just like yeah, just obnoxiously over the top. Like call your mom. To they put it in the back of pictures. All these places. They stuck it in their shower caddies. Just to be funny and just to give them a hard time.
I'll have to do that. I do text them on a regular, like, "Hi, don't forget about me.
Oh
What's up?"
yeah. Yep. It's oh my gosh. You gotta love it. So yeah, I love you and your family. I can't wait to actually meet you one day in person. Yeah, it'll be
Oh,
great.
soon.
All right. Well,
Thanks
thank you
for
very
that.
much. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Bye.